Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going deep, deep into the mind of Seven Bomar.
Oh, he is fascinating. A real thought leader with some pretty unique perspectives on consciousness and self-development and all that.
Yeah, this one's definitely for a mature audience.
Yeah.
So, what's got you so captivated by Bomar?
Well, I think what's captivating about Seven Bomar is that he doesn't just see language as like a tool for talking to each other.
Right.
He views it as like a code,
Oh, wow.
almost like a spell that shapes our consciousness, like really shapes who we are.
Hmm. So, the words we use are actually like programming our minds.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the essence of it, I think.
I'm already intrigued.
It's a powerful concept.
So, tell me more about this whole language as a spell idea. How did he even come up with that?
So Bomar did some really in-depth research into ancient languages like Hebrew.
Oh, wow.
And what he discovered is that these languages could actually be broken down into geometric symbols,
Oh, wow.
which suggests, maybe there's this deeper level of influence going on. You know those catchy slogans you hear everywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Do they work on us?
They do. Probably more than I'd like to admit.
They work because language operates on us on a much deeper level than we think.
Okay, that's kind of freaky, actually.
It is a little bit, right? So then the big question is,
Yeah, if language is this powerful code, can we reprogram it? Can we change the programming, so to speak?
you absolutely can. That's what Bomar believes. He says our minds are like computers.
Okay.
We have this firmware, like in a computer, right? It's basically our deepest beliefs and patterns, the stuff that runs automatically below the surface.
Right, the stuff we don't even realize is running the show a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, like firmware, it's hard to change.
It can be, but it's not impossible.
That's good to hear. So how do we go about this reprogramming?
Well, he says it starts with questioning our beliefs, the ones we've always taken for granted. And then we start replacing them with new ways of thinking, more empowering ones.
I like that. So where do we even begin?
He uses cryptocurrency as an example.
Oh, interesting.
Just like a new technology comes along and disrupts the old system.
Right.
That's what shifting our mental framework can do.
Okay.
It opens up possibilities that we maybe didn't even realize were there.
I love that. So we actually have the power to change our mental software.
Absolutely, we do. Bomar calls those collective beliefs that we all buy into aggregors.
Aggregators.
Yeah, think of it like it's more than just a brand. Think of Nike. It evokes all these emotions and associations.
It does, yeah. It's not just a shoe anymore, it's a whole idea.
Right. It becomes supercharged when more and more people buy into it.
Oh, that's a great example. So what other aggregators are out there shaping our thoughts without us even knowing?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. What are those things that we all just accept as truth?
And that's what Bomar wants us to think about. Recognizing those aggregators is the first step to breaking free from their influence, which leads to his big idea, personal sovereignty.
Oh, yeah, I've heard him talk about that. So it's like being independent, right?
Right.
Not letting those external systems control us.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of your own mind, your energy, even your life path. He talks about owning your own land, having your own energy source.
Right. It's a powerful analogy. So how do we start cultivating that kind of inner sovereignty? I mean, where do you even begin to figure out where we're being influenced?
Well, Bomar says one of the biggest roadblocks is binary thinking.
Binary thinking, you mean like seeing everything as black or white, good or bad?
Exactly. That kind of rigid thinking keeps us stuck in these limited perspectives.
Oh, I see. So how do we escape that binary trap?
He calls for a trinary code, a way of thinking that embraces complexity and paradox. Like maybe things aren't so black and white after all.
Okay, I like where this is going. Tell me more about this trinary way of thinking. How do we actually do it?
You have to challenge those comfortable beliefs, embrace a more flexible mindset. It's about being adaptable.
It sounds like it takes a lot of courage to challenge those deep-seated beliefs, the things we've always held to be true.
It does. But the rewards can be immense. When you break free, you unlock this amazing potential to see the world and yourself in a whole new light.
This is already making me think differently about my own thoughts and the words I use. I'm definitely going to have to pay more attention to that inner dialogue.
That's the first step. It's all about becoming aware of the code that's running your life. And once you start to see that code, you can start to change it. Bomar talks about how this shift in thinking, this trinary code, is so important for really understanding the world, like all those complex systems we're a part of.
Right. It's not just about personal growth. It's about seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly.
So how does this trinary code help us navigate the challenges of, the real world?
Well, it lets us move beyond those like really simplistic solutions, and it helps us see that everything is interconnected. Like, take social injustice, for example. Bomar argues that a lot of prejudice and discrimination, it comes from fear
Right.
and those limitations of binary thinking, that us versus them mentality.
So if we break free from that, can we start to actually change the systems that are causing these problems?
Well, it's not a simple fix.
Right.
These issues are so deeply entrenched.
Yeah.
But he believes that by cultivating awareness, compassion, understanding, all of that, we can start to create a more just world.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's about seeing the humanity in everyone, not just putting people into these rigid categories.
Exactly. Beaumont reminds us that we're all connected, and every choice we make has an impact.
So how do we move from awareness to action? How do we actually start making those positive changes?
Well, he talks a lot about personal responsibility. He acknowledges all those outside forces, but he really emphasizes that ultimately we're responsible for creating the life we want.
It's about recognizing that we have power. We're not just victims of circumstance.
Exactly. He actually lays out a framework for achieving this. It's all about cultivating three qualities: focus, sovereignty, and versatility.
Okay, break those down for me. What does he mean by focus?
Focus is all about directing your attention and energy toward what matters most.
Okay.
And, in this world where there are distractions everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
cultivating focus is crucial if you want to achieve your goals.
It's about choosing where we direct our energy,
Mm,
not letting it just get scattered.
exactly. Then there's sovereignty, which we've talked about, that independence, but he takes it a step further.
Okay.
He says true sovereignty is about taking ownership of your mind, your emotions, your choices, not just your external circumstances.
It's about realizing that true power comes from within. I think we've all had those moments where we realize we've given our power away.
We have. And then there's versatility.
Versatility, what's that all about?
He describes it as the ability to adapt to change, to learn from new experiences, to see the world from different perspectives.
So it's about being open, not getting stuck in our ways.
Yes. He wants us to step outside our comfort zones, to embrace the unknown, to see challenges as opportunities for growth.
It all sounds incredibly empowering, but if I'm being honest, it also feels a bit daunting. Like,
Hmm.
how do we actually integrate these ideas into our everyday lives? We're all so busy.
He offers a lot of different tools and techniques. He talks about self-reflection, mindfulness, meditation, all those things that help you become more aware of your thoughts and beliefs and
It's
patterns.
about slowing down and paying attention.
Exactly. He also encourages exploring the power of language and symbols, even energy work. It's
Uh-huh.
about transformation on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, energetic.
It's fascinating to think that we can actively choose the code that's running our lives. Like we can actually reprogram ourselves. It makes you wonder what else we're capable of.
That's the question Bomar wants us to ask. He believes we're far more powerful than we realize. And understanding this code, the code of language and consciousness, is the key to unlocking that potential.
It all comes back to that idea of language as a spell, right?
It does.
If we change the language, we can change our reality.
Exactly. And that brings us to one of Bomar's most powerful, maybe even paradigm-shifting ideas. He asks us to shift our perspective on time.
Okay, now we're getting into some mind-bending territory. What does he say about time?
What if time isn't linear? What if it's something we create in each moment?
Whoa. Are we talking about time travel, or is this something more metaphorical?
He's saying that what we perceive as real and what we create with our minds, that line is a lot blurrier than we think. He uses the analogy of lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming, like when you know you're dreaming while you're in the dream.
Yes, it's that awareness and the ability to actually control what happens in the dream. He uses it as an example of the mind's power to shape experience.
So if we can become lucid in our dreams, can we also become lucid in our waking lives? Can we actually change our experience of time?
Bomar believes so. He challenges us to examine our beliefs about time and reality and our own creative power. By becoming more conscious of our thoughts, our beliefs, those mental patterns we're running, we gain the ability to make different choices, rewrite those old stories, and ultimately shape our experience of the world.
That's a pretty radical concept. It's suggesting we have way more control over our reality than we think. But how do we actually do that? How do we become more lucid in our everyday lives?
The first step is awareness.
Okay.
Becoming aware of the language you're using, the beliefs you're holding, the mental patterns you're running.
It's about paying attention to that inner voice.
Exactly. Noticing those stories we tell ourselves, questioning those assumptions.
It's realizing that we have the power to change the program, to rewrite the code.
Yes. And he also emphasizes the importance of finding your unique spin.
Spin, what does that mean?
That special talent, that gift that you're here to share with the world. He uses the analogy of a spinning top.
Oh, I like that.
Each top spins in its own unique way, contributing to the beauty of the whole.
I love that. It's about embracing our individuality
Exactly. He wants us to celebrate our differences.
and contribute our unique gifts.
Yes. It's about finding your place in that grand symphony of existence.
Each of us playing our own part.
And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting. It's an invitation to explore your own being, to unlock that hidden potential, and to become the architect of your own reality.
It does sound like an incredible journey.
It is. And it all starts with understanding the code of language and consciousness.
Wow. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into 7 Bomar, I don't know, I'm left with this sense of awe, but also like possibility. It's pretty amazing.
It is inspiring, right? It makes you think, wow, we really have a lot more power than we realized.
Definitely. I think that idea of language as a code, a spell, really stuck with me.
That's Bomar's core message, like wake up to the words you're using, not just the ones you say out loud, but even the ones you're thinking.
Because they're shaping our reality. It's kind of a mind-blowing concept when you really think about it.
It is. It's like we can change the program, break free from those old beliefs that have been holding us back.
Step into our full potential,
Yeah.
as he says. I love that. But I have to admit, it's a little daunting too.
It is a big shift in perspective, but Bomar gives us a roadmap. He gives us those tools.
Like focusing our energy, embracing sovereignty, and becoming more versatile.
Exactly. Those are the keys to navigating life with more intention, more awareness.
And ultimately, creating a life that reflects who we truly are, who we want to be.
That's the goal, right? To become the architects of our own lives. Not just letting things happen to us, but consciously creating the reality we want to experience.
Absolutely. And not just for ourselves, but contributing to the world in a positive way.
Right. Using our unique gifts and talents. Bomar reminds us that we all have something special to offer, something that only we can bring to the table.
Like that spinning top analogy, I keep thinking about that. Each top spins in its own way, but together they create this beautiful, intricate pattern.
That's it. We each have our own spin, our own unique contribution to make to the whole.
Well, this has been an incredible journey into the mind of Seven Bomar. His ideas are definitely challenging, sometimes mind-bending, but ultimately really empowering.
They give us a whole new way of seeing ourselves and the world around us. And understanding that, I think, is the first step towards real transformation.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we'll leave you with one final thought-provoking question from Seven Bomar himself. What if time is not linear, but something we create in each moment? For more information and esoteric knowledge from Seven Bomar, check out the link in our channel's bio. Until next time, keep diving deep.